Well, a recent dip in tourism is shaking up the Strip, and it's the casino dealers who are paying the price.
Vegas still glitters, but something feels wrong. The Strip is quieter, emptier, like the soul of the city has been drained.
The CEO of MGM Resorts now admits high prices were a mistake through the summer and contributed to a negative perception of Las Vegas.
Tourists are disappearing, casinos are changing, and no one's saying why. But behind the flashing lights, there's a secret plan, and it's rewriting what Vegas really stands for. Kicking out the lowest end. The CEO confession that changed everything. The CEO of Caesars Entertainment said they're kicking out their poorest customers, not quietly, not behind closed doors, on an earnings call to investors, like it was the most natural thing in the world. And he's not alone. Vegas was never supposed to be for the rich. It became Vegas because everyone went. The trucker, the teacher, the small business owner. For a weekend, you could be anyone. The construction worker felt like a high roller. The accountant played James Bond. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas wasn't just marketing. It was a promise. Vegas was America's playground because it let everyone play. But something changed. May 2023. Tom Reeg, CEO of Caesars Entertainment, earnings call. His words, Vegas is kicking out its poorest customers, not attracting better ones. No upgrading the experience, kicking them out. Months later, Bill Hornbuckle from MGM doubles down. Budget travelers going to Excalibur and Luxor? Not worth it anymore. These are properties MGM owns, where families save all year for one vacation. Suddenly they are embarrassments. Here's why they don't care. Formula One brought 105,000 visitors, spending $1,500 per day each. Raiders games attract crowds, spending 3 times the normal tourist rates. Corporate conventions pull executives with company cards, not families counting quarters. The math was simple. 1 tech executive beats 5 truck drivers. 1 hedge fund manager beats 10 retired couples. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't market forces. This was policy, announced to shareholders like progress. Vegas spent decades becoming America's playground, then decided America wasn't rich enough to play there anymore. The house always wins, but now you're not even allowed in the door. The death of blackjack and free parking, how Vegas priced out America. A family of 4 checking into a Vegas hotel today faces a math problem that would make a casino accountant blush. Before they even see the casino floor, before a single bet or show ticket, they're looking at fees that used to cover an entire weekend. Resort fees alone average $55 per night, jumping to $62 after taxes. Even budget properties like Excalibur slam guests with $45 nightly fees for amenities that used to come with the room. The parking situation reads like a bad joke. MGM properties charge $20 to $25 just to leave your car on their concrete. Caesars wants the same. Remember when Vegas had more free parking than any city in America? Now they charge you money to walk inside and lose more money. Table games have become luxury items. The $5 blackjack tables that covered the Strip in 2019 have vanished like mob money in the desert. Today you're looking at $25 minimums during slow Tuesday afternoons, $50 when people actually show up, and $100 on weekends. Craps tables start at $25 and climb from there. The dealers standing behind these empty tables remember when every spot was filled with players betting red chips and having the time of their lives. Places that once advertised a $5 steak dinner now push $30 cocktails. These aren't craft cocktails in exclusive lounges. This is what regular bars cost. The free drinks that kept players happy and tipping, they still exist technically, but good luck finding a cocktail server in under 20 minutes, and you better have serious money cycling through that machine when they finally appear. The vanishing crowds, when 1.5 million tourists disappeared. June should have been packed. Summer vacation, fight weekends, and convention season all hitting at once. Instead, visitor numbers crashed by 11.3% compared to the previous year. Not a small dip or seasonal adjustment, a collapse that left 1.5 million fewer people walking the Strip in just 6 months. The kind of drop that makes casino executives stop talking about growth and start talking about survival. Strip occupancy tells an even uglier story. Hotels that ran at 87.8% capacity now struggle to fill 78.7% of their rooms. The planes landing in Vegas carry empty seats. The rental car lots stay full because nobody's renting. The monorail runs half-empty cars past half-empty casinos. Walk the Strip on a Wednesday afternoon and you'll see something that would have been impossible 5 years ago. Dealers standing at empty tables, practicing their chip tricks for nobody. Cab drivers lined up at the airport for hours, watching planes arrive with fewer passengers than they have room for in their queue. The energy that made Vegas feel alive, that constant buzz of possibility and chaos, has been replaced by a silence so complete you can hear the fountains from 3 blocks away. The two-day city. Why Vegas dies every Monday. Vegas has developed a split personality. Friday and Saturday, the Strip still shows signs of life. Come Sunday night, someone flips a switch. By Monday morning, the city feels abandoned. Tuesday through Thursday might as well not exist. The dealers have a name for it now, the two-day city. Alive for 48 hours, dead for the other 120. Bartenders who used to clear $300 on a slow Tuesday now go home with $80 if they're lucky. The same hands that once poured drinks for packed bars now wipe down empty counters, waiting for customers who never show. Dealers shuffle cards for practice, deal hands to empty chairs, count and recount chips that nobody's betting. The gift shops that thrived on impulse purchases from tipsy tourists now close at 10 p.m. instead of staying open all night. Convention attendance provides false hope. May showed a 10.7 increase, but these aren't the fun-loving tourists who made Vegas magical. They're business travelers on expense accounts who eat at their hotel, attend their meetings, and fly home without stepping foot in a casino. The volume crash that insiders whisper about isn't just about fewer people. It's about the wrong kind of people, the kind who don't tip, don't gamble, and don't care if Vegas lives or dies. Gaming revenue plunges, while phantom taxes drive away. Even the whales. May 2025 should have been a record month. Summer starting, sports betting in full swing, new properties opening their doors. Instead, gaming revenue dropped 4% statewide. Slot machines, the bread and butter of casual gambling, fell 5%. Baccarat, the game that supposedly justified chasing away the middle class, plunged 10%. Even the high-end players Vegas restructured everything to attract aren't showing up like they promised. The phantom tax situation reads like a trap designed by someone who hates gamblers. Win $10 million, but lose $11 million, and you still owe taxes on money you never actually had. The IRS only lets you deduct 90% of losses, creating a nightmare where the biggest players, the exact whales Vegas claims to want, are getting hit with 6-figure tax bills on 7-figure losses. Over 3,000 high-volume players have already moved their action offshore. Singapore doesn't tax winnings. Macau doesn't care about your losses. Monaco treats gamblers like valued customers instead of tax targets. The sports books that survived everything from point-shaving scandals to the rise of fantasy sports are shutting down one window at a time. The private gaming salons Caesars spent $40 million building site empty. The $500 minimum tables MGM installed have dealers standing around with nobody to deal to. Vegas bet everything on rich players who have better options and smarter accountants. Now they're learning what happens when you build a business model on customers who can afford to go anywhere else. Worker apocalypse. When the dream makers can't afford the dream. Dealer schools across Vegas look like graveyards of broken dreams. Enrollment has crashed to pandemic levels, except the pandemic ended 3 years ago. The classrooms that once had waiting lists 3 months long now struggle to fill a single table for practice. Students used to line up outside, practicing chip tricks in parking lots, desperate for their shot at the big casinos. The economics destroyed an entire profession overnight. Experienced dealers who cleared $80,000 annually with tips now scrape by on $45,000 if they're lucky. Cocktail servers walk miles per shift for half the tips they made 5 years ago. These aren't entry-level workers. These are veterans with 20 years of experience who know every game, every regular, every trick to keep players happy and tipping. Vegas unemployment sits among the highest in the nation, with leisure and hospitality swinging wildly between desperate hiring and mass layoffs. The city added 3,000 hotel rooms while cutting 400 table games. They installed 8,000 new slot machines while eliminating 15% of dealer positions. The math is simple and brutal. More rooms, fewer workers, higher prices, fewer customers. The spiral feeds itself. The housing crisis makes everything worse. Workers who spent decades serving Vegas can't afford to live within 30 miles of the Strip. Apartment rents jumped 40%, while their income dropped by half. They're driving 2 hours from Pahrump or Mesquite, burning gas money they don't have to work shifts that barely cover the commute. The people who make the drinks, deal the cards, clean the rooms, and keep the lights on can't afford to exist in the city they built. When a city prices out its own workforce, when the people creating the experience can't afford to live near it, collapse isn't just possible, it's mathematical certainty. The Great Betrayal. 3 decades of loyalty thrown away. For 30 years, Vegas had its loyalists. The regulars who came 3-4 times a year, saved up vacation days, packed the car, made the drive from Phoenix or San Diego or Salt Lake City. Insurance adjusters and plumbers, teachers and electricians who treated Vegas like a second home. They knew every pit boss by name, had their favorite slot machines, and their regular dealers who'd ask about their kids. 3 decades of loyalty, through good times and bad. When planes stopped flying after 9/11, these people drove to Vegas anyway. During the 2008 financial crisis, when their retirement savings plan got cut in half, they still scraped together enough for their annual trip. Through the pandemic, they waited patiently for Vegas to reopen, counting the days until they could return. They kept the lights on when nobody else would. They were the foundation, the bedrock, the reason Vegas survived every disaster thrown at it. The betrayal started small. Their favorite $5 blackjack tables became $25. The free drinks took longer to arrive, then stopped coming at all. Parking went from free to $20. Resort fees appeared out of nowhere. Their players' club points suddenly bought half of what they used to. The hosts who used to greet them by name disappeared, replaced by apps and automated emails. Every trip became a little more expensive, a little less fun, until one day they realized Vegas wasn't for them anymore. The message couldn't be clearer. After 3 decades of loyalty, of choosing Vegas over Disney World, over cruises, over European vacations, these people were told they weren't good enough. Not explicitly, but through prices and policies designed to push them out. They got the message. Vegas isn't for them anymore. The people who would have defended Vegas against any criticism, who wore the t-shirts and told the stories, who brought their kids and taught them to love the city too, they're gone, and they're not coming back. The Laughlin Rebellion, where Vegas's rejected customers found new homes. 2 hours south of Vegas, something interesting is happening. Laughlin, that sleepy river town everyone forgot about, saw gaming revenue jump 17%. Mesquite climbed nearly 10%. These aren't new properties or massive investments. They're the same casinos that have been there for decades, suddenly packed with familiar faces. The $5 blackjack players Vegas kicked out. The retired couples who can't afford resort fees. The working families who want a weekend getaway without taking out a loan. Red Rock Resorts and Boyd gaming properties are thriving while strip casinos struggle. Their parking lots fill with California plates that used to head straight to the strip. Southern California residents discovered they could drive an extra hour to Laughlin and save enough money to pay for the entire trip. The dealers actually smile when you sit down. The drinks come quickly and are free. The buffet costs $12.99, not $75. Nobody charges you to park your car. Local casinos around Vegas are seeing the same surge. The Orleans, Gold Coast, Arizona Charlie's, all packed with tourists who finally discovered what locals have known forever. Better odds, lower minimums, faster drink service, cheaper food, and employees who actually seem happy you're there. These properties aren't trying to be Monaco. They're trying to be what Vegas used to be, and it's working. The quiet rebellion extends beyond Nevada. Tribal casinos across Arizona and California report record numbers. Small gaming towns in Colorado and New Mexico see floods of former Vegas regulars. They're not offering Formula One or celebrity chef restaurants. They're offering $5 craps, free parking, and the radical concept that every customer matters. The same business model Vegas abandoned is making everyone else rich. The customers Vegas rejected didn't stop gambling. They just found places that actually want their business. Online gambling's revenge. July 2025 broke every online gambling record that existed. $1.78 billion in a single month, up 20% from the previous year. The same people who used to book flights to Vegas are now pulling up apps on their phones. No flight costs, no hotel fees, no parking charges, no resort fees, no watered-down drinks, no attitude from dealers, no judgment from pit bosses. Just gambling, pure and simple, available 24 hours a day from their couch. The industry forecasts tell the real story. The U.S. online gambling market will hit $26.8 billion by the end of 2025, up from $23.4 billion in 2024. By 2028, it could surpass $41 billion. That's not money shifting around the gambling industry. That's money leaving Vegas and never coming back. The online casinos understood something Vegas forgot. Convenience beats spectacle every time. They offer better odds than any strip casino. Their slots pay out at 97% instead of Vegas's 85%. Their blackjack games have lower minimums and better rules. They give real bonuses, not insulting players' club points. They remember your birthday, your preferences, your favorite games. The algorithm treats every player like a VIP because to them, everyone is. The technology keeps getting better, while Vegas keeps getting worse. Live dealer games broadcast from studios in Europe feel more personal than sitting at a strip casino, where dealers are told not to engage with players. Virtual reality casinos let you walk around, chat with other players, and feel the excitement without the fees. Sports betting apps process bets instantly, while Vegas sportsbooks make you wait in line behind convention attendees who don't know what a point spread is. Vegas created this competitor through pure arrogance. They pushed out the casual players who would have kept coming forever. They made the experience so expensive and unpleasant that staying home became the better option. Every resort fee, every parking charge, every $25 minimum table drove another 1,000 players online. Now those players have discovered they prefer it. They're not coming back. Vegas handed its entire customer base to Silicon Valley and offshore operators, gift-wrapped with a bow made of resort fees. Even luxury properties are failing, the high roller myth exposed. Bellagio, Aria, and Cosmopolitan were supposed to be immune, the crown jewels of Vegas, where high rollers would always come to play. MGM's CEO admitted these properties were off compared to their peak years, not struggling like budget properties, but off. That's corporate speak for empty baccarat tables and quiet high-limit rooms. The whales Vegas restructured everything to catch are swimming in other oceans. Rich people have options Vegas can't match. Macau doesn't charge resort fees because it's not that desperate. Monaco offers actual exclusivity, not a velvet rope in a crowded casino. Singapore provides privacy and discretion, not Instagram moments and bottle service. These places understand wealthy gamblers want to gamble, not pay fees and wait in lines. They want to be wealthy, not feel wealthy. Vegas offers the feeling. Everyone else offers the reality. The math exposes the whole fantasy. 10,000 high rollers betting big doesn't equal 100,000 middle-class players spreading their action everywhere. The whale at the baccarat table might drop $100,000, but the 100 regular players spend that much combined on rooms, food, drinks, shows, shopping, and tips. They create the energy that makes Vegas exciting. Resorts World's rebellion, when breaking ranks actually worked. Resorts World did something crazy in summer 2025. They dropped their resort fees and brought back free parking. Not a discount, not a special rate for members. Actually free like Vegas used to be. The other casinos watched like Resorts World had lost their minds. Who gives up $55 per night in pure profit? Who lets people park for free when everyone else charges? The answer came fast. Their occupancy rate shot up 15% in 3 weeks. The promotion was supposed to run through September, a desperate attempt to fill rooms during the slowest season Vegas had seen since 2009. But something unexpected happened. People didn't just book rooms, they gambled more, ate at the restaurants, and bought show tickets. The dealers had full tables again. The bars needed extra staff for weekday shifts. The parking garage that competitors said would be empty and losing money filled up with cars from California, Arizona, and Utah. Regular people who hadn't visited Vegas in 2 years suddenly remembered why they used to love it. Convention attendance jumped 10.7% that May, but not because of some marketing genius or new facility. Convention planners started choosing Vegas again when they could tell attendees they wouldn't get nickel and dimed to death. The corporate travel managers who book these events have spreadsheets showing the total trip cost. When parking and resort fees add $75 per night per person, Orlando starts looking pretty good. Drop those fees and suddenly Vegas makes sense again. The Sphere opened to massive fanfare, a $2.3 billion ball of LED screens visible from airplane windows. And it worked, kind of. People came to see it, took pictures, and posted on Instagram. U2 played a residency that sold out every night. But here's what they don't mention in the press releases. Half the people who came to see the Sphere didn't gamble. They couldn't afford to after paying $400 for concert tickets. The spectacle brought bodies, but not gamblers. Resorts World proved something the other casinos refused to accept. The old model still works. People still want to come to Vegas. They just can't afford what Vegas has become. From People's Casino to Country Club, how Vegas lost its soul. Vegas was born in the desert as a democratic experiment in vice. Not democratic like voting, democratic like everyone's money was green. The mob guys who built the first casinos understood something beautiful. A plumber's $20 bet counted the same as a banker's. The cocktail waitress bringing free drinks treated everyone like they mattered. The $5 steak dinner wasn't just cheap food, it was a statement that everyone deserved a seat at the table. The old joints, the Stardust, the Riviera, the Sahara, they weren't architectural masterpieces. The carpets were ugly, the rooms were basic, and the food was simple. But walking through those doors meant something. For one weekend, you weren't just another working stiff. You were a player. The dealer knew your name by the second day. The cocktail waitress remembered your drink. The pit boss would comp your breakfast if you'd been playing all night. It wasn't about how much you bet. It was about showing up, being part of the circus. The transformation happened slowly, then all at once. First, the corporations bought out the families who ran the old places. Then they brought in consultants who talked about revenue per square foot and customer lifetime value. They studied Macau and Monaco and Dubai and decided Vegas needed to be like them. Luxury suites, celebrity chefs, $1,000 bottles of champagne. They forgot that Macau and Monaco were built for rich people from the start. Vegas was built for everyone else. Today's Vegas feels like a country club where someone forgot to lock the door. You can walk in, but everything inside reminds you that you don't belong. The slot machines judge you, refusing to unlock bonus rounds unless you're betting max credits. The dealers are told not to chat. The cocktail service ignores you unless you're betting big. The entire city turned into a place designed to make regular people feel poor. Vegas used to be where ordinary people went to feel special. Now, it's where rich people go to feel richer, and everyone else goes broke trying to pretend they belong. The numbers don't lie. A city in statistical freefall. Every single month of 2025, fewer people came to Vegas than the year before. Not some months, not most months. Every month. January down 5%, February down 7%, March down 6%, April down 8%, June down 11.3%. The pattern isn't stabilizing, it's accelerating. The executives, calling it a temporary adjustment, are looking at the same numbers everyone else sees. They just refuse to read them. Harry Reid International Airport tells the story before anyone even reaches the Strip. 8 consecutive months of decline through September. Year-to-date through August, passenger traffic down 4.5%. August alone saw 4.6 million passengers, a 5.8% drop from the year before. The planes are landing half empty. The people who used to fill those seats aren't rebooking. And here's what should terrify everyone. The patterns match 2007 almost perfectly. First, international travelers vanish. Canadian visitors, once Vegas's most reliable foreign customers, have nearly disappeared. They're still traveling, just to Mexico and Europe instead. Places that don't charge them $50 to use a gym they'll never visit. Then, airlines start cutting routes. The smaller international ones from Tokyo, London, Toronto. The airport built a new international terminal just in time for international travelers to stop coming. Hotel occupancy crashed to 78.7%, down from 87.8% just 2 years ago. Downtown Vegas runs at 63% occupancy. That's not a slowdown, that's a crisis. The average room rate dropped 6% while resort fees jumped 11%. They're charging more for less, and people finally figured out the math. Revenue per available room collapsed by 14%. Some properties hit 20% or worse. RevPAR is the one number that cuts through all the corporate spin. It's what you charge times how many rooms you fill. You can hike up prices all you want, but if nobody's booking, you're bleeding money. A 20% drop? In any other industry, that's bankruptcy territory. In 2007, executives dismissed the warning signs the same way, called it temporary, called it seasonal, called it anything but what it was. Then 2008 hit, and Vegas lost everything. MGM's stock dropped from $100 to $3. Caesars filed for bankruptcy. Half-finished hotel towers sat abandoned on the Strip for years. Convention attendance dropped 18.7% in September. Gaming revenue fell across every category, except Baccarat, and even that's fewer people betting bigger money. The Strip generated a 2% revenue increase that sounds impressive until you see it came from 11% fewer players. That's not growth, that's extraction. Tourism is America's canary in the coal mine. When people stop taking vacations, stop spending on entertainment, stop believing they can afford fun, something bigger is breaking. Vegas tourism historically predicts national economic trends by about 6 months. If that pattern holds, Vegas isn't just collapsing, it's showing us what's coming for everyone else. The question isn't whether Vegas is in trouble. The numbers scream it from every spreadsheet, every earnings report, every empty hotel hallway. The question is whether anyone in charge will admit it before it's too late. Every casino corporation has the same data showing the same collapse, but their earnings calls still drone on about temporary headwinds and strategic repositioning. The city built on gambling is making the biggest bet of all, that it can survive without the people who built it. The numbers say they're about to lose everything. That's all for Vegas's downfall. Don't miss the videos on screen now. They're just as interesting. Catch you in the next one.